Welcome in to the Straight Fire Podcast. Now would be a great time to show your support for the podcast by leaving a 5-star review, liking the YouTube video, and leaving a comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything that we do, be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. Welcome in to the Straight Fire Podcast. Hello everyone, we are so glad to have you back. Welcome into another episode. It is a joy to have you, and I would like to officially kick off the Straight Fire Podcast Season 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What an announcement it is. We built up a lot of hype for the announcement by posting absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I feel like we have some pretty valid excuses, though, personally. Like, people can come at us and be like, how dare you not post? But, I feel like we have got some pretty legitimate claims.
No, see, I never worried about that. You know why? Because I just don't think people care that much.
People were like, oh, y'all stopped posting?
Finally! No, Landon's been out of town. We always say that when we don't post, but it's true. I promise. If you know Landon, you know that he's speaking everywhere all the time. But yeah, we've
also been in the Philippines.
also been in the Philippines, but that was over a month ago, so...
Oh, don't tell me that.
And I still feel just as jet lagged as when I got back. No, but Land's been seeking me everywhere. We've been planning Season 2 out and the things we're going to do, even if we haven't put out anything about Season 2. Season 2 starts today. We started the podcast over a year ago. We've done 26 episodes of the podcast. This will be episode 27, but Season 2, episode 1. And today's topic is pretty straightforward. It is simply just recapping us talking about, telling you guys about how this whole thing started, what we've learned throughout it, some of our favorite moments, our favorite episodes, and just the experience that we've had doing the podcast. It's been fun, and honestly, it's received so much more support than we ever could have planned. So I guess we need to start at the very beginning of how the beginning started. Let's see. I was sitting, probably doing schoolwork or something very productive.
What year was this? This would have been
2023.
2023?
Look it up. Look up the day our episode first came out. Yeah, but I believe it was in 2023. Probably would have been early March, I believe.
Yeah, it would have been, because that was y'all's last year of Lads. So
Yeah.
I'm in 23.
No, it was second to last year of Lads.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so.
Well, then that would have been...
Because we didn't record our...
Okay, the first episode that I see posted is posted in June 5th, 2024.
But there was an episode before that. So
Yeah,
it would have been in
this says
2024.
episode 1 from Lads to Leaders.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
June 5th?
It was... So it got reposted later. I think it's on our YouTube
yeah.
channel, or it's on your YouTube channel, but it got reposted later. But it was the same year. It was
Okay.
2024.
So 2024. So it was my last year of Lads.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It was. I remember that.
So it was my last year of Lads. I was sitting at my house probably doing something productive when someone texted me like, "Hey, they're having they're doing a podcast thing at Lads. They're having a booth, and if you go back and watch that first video, it's on my YouTube channel. It's on let's see, it's on my Benjoman channel, BINJOMANN. It's on my Benjamin channel. It's one of the videos there. You can see that we were in a booth at the Lads to Leaders convention recording that podcast. I remember thinking, oh, that'd be really cool to do. I've made some YouTube videos. A podcast would be something fun to do, especially with equipment that I don't have to buy or set up. So I remember all you had to do was just sign up on a Google Doc. That was it. And so I texted Noah and Landon hey, would y'all want to do this? And I don't think they knew.
I'm so ready to give our perspective of the story.
I don't think they knew if I was serious or not, but they signed up anyways. They're like, yeah, sure. And so we were all debate students at that time, so we decided we were gonna do the debate topic that year, which was instruments in worship. Yeah, we were gonna do instruments in worship, and we were gonna talk about that on the podcast, which was originally named the AAA podcast. And I remember,
if you go back and listen to that first podcast, where we said the name at first has been edited out and replaced with Straight Fire Podcast.
has it really?
It really
That's
has.
funny. I remember going to talking to the person at Lads, going to talk with the person who was setting us up, and going to check everything out, make sure it was okay. And I walk up, and he's gonna throw us out. Like there were some really serious podcasts on there.
Yeah.
I forgot who was all in the Google. Who was all in the Google Doc?
I don't remember.
There were
I
like
think there's a picture of it somewhere, but
yeah, like it was. The names on there were like very real. It was like, oh, these are like established Christian podcasts.
Yeah.
Established Christian podcasts, and then there's us. You
We
know,
didn't even have a name on the paper.
we didn't have a name. Yeah, it was just. I think it was probably just Benjamin Anderson. And so like he was like, oh, okay, so he's like, so, and I remember going up to him, I was like, hey, my name is Benjamin. Like we signed up for one of the slots. And he's like, oh, okay, like. How long have you all been doing your podcast? I was like, this is it. He's about to kick us out. Like
30 seconds.
well, we don't have any official content out yet. But I was like, he's gonna kick us out. And I was like, well, tomorrow will actually be our first episode. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. Like we get to be y'all's first episode. It was super nice. And for the life of me, I can't remember who.
It was Mr. Hatfield, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Robert
The
Hatfield.
Light
Robert
Network.
Hatfield. Yeah,
Robert Hatfield with Light
yeah, it was
Network.
because the Light
Mr.
Network
Robert
was,
was
the
super
original,
nice. Shout out to Mr. Robert. If y'all ever see him anywhere, just say you started the Straight Fire podcast.
Yeah. Well, it was him, and it was Jeff Archie.
Jeff
Yeah.
Archie.
Jeff Archie.
Big shout out to Jeff Archie. He gave us the confidence to keep doing this.
Yeah, he actually came up with the name AAA because it was Anderson and Averett.
Yeah.
And we kind of swapped it up on him. I don't know if he knows about that yet, but
Well, I mean, we're branded now, so
yeah,
we
really,
can't.
We have
trademark.
We have stickers now, so I mean,
Yeah, we can't change it now. But yeah, I talked to him. He's super. Robert Hatfield was super cool, and we showed up Friday morning like 7 a.m. recording that podcast. I remember the drink I had before was a Juneberry Red Bull. I miss those.
I remember I was gonna have caffeine, and I was so scared that I would talk too much and get too nervous, and the caffeine would make me too jittery that I just completely avoided it.
Kind of wish you'd still feel that way. No.
I'll say I've got water right now.
Yeah, but that was kind of my experience. It was very scary the first time. Well, I'll talk about the actual recording of the first episode. But what was y'all's experience leading up to the podcast?
You need to get Landon's thoughts.
Landon, what was your experience when I messaged you guys?
I remember I was in the car, and I don't remember a lot of stuff from like a year ago. Like my memory quickly deletes itself. But like I remember sitting in the car, and I got a text from Benjamin, and it was like, "Hey, you want to record a podcast at Lads this year?" And I was like, "What?" And I was just like, I mean, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Sure.
I knew nothing about like how to record podcasts. Like never had recorded a YouTube video. Like at least Benjamin had. Some,
You say that like we do know how to record a
Yeah.
podcast.
You say that like we learned along the way how to record a
Yeah.
podcast.
Anyway. No. But I was sitting there, but I was just like, well, this is like a one-time opportunity. That'd be kind of cool. It's at Lads. I was like, yeah, I think that was literally my response. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I just sent it and we went with it. And I was just like, I had no clue what we were getting into. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no clue what we were going to talk about or how long it was going to be. But I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't remember exactly what I was doing.
I wonder if I could go back and find.
I was about to go search for those messages, but I remember thinking to myself when Benjamin texted us this because it was probably about a month away, and I remember
A lot of heads up.
and I
too.
remember
It
him
was great.
texting us.
Hey, I would text it. That's more heads up than I'm giving y'all of anything in this Straight Fire podcast.
I remember him texting us and being like, "Would y'all want to record a podcast?" And I was like, my mind instantly went to why and how. Like, why would we do that? How would we do that?
ye of
What would
little
we
faith.
talk about? Like, I started running all the logistics, and I was like, you know what? Sure. And then no, I don't even think me and Landon gave definite answers. I was like, yeah, that might be something we could do. And then Benjamin, next message I get, signed us up for the podcast. And I was like, whoa.
My reasoning is if I give Noah too much time to think about it, he'll back himself out somehow. So I just sign him up now and give him no reason to get out because that's how Noah and I think. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll go do that. Why not? And Noah's gonna calculate. He's gonna weigh out the.
That's the difference between me and Noah. Like Noah's very strategic and he thinks through things. Even like podcasts, like studying
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Noah's got like quotes and all of this, and I'm just like, yeah, let's do this.
I remember that night before in the hotel room.
It's like, are we really
Thinking to myself about things I was gonna say, like freaking out, like we're really going to record a podcast tomorrow, and then we got in there and we started recording. And I don't want to steal Benjamin's what he's gonna say, but we got in there and started recording with those really fancy headphones on, where all we could hear was each other's voices, and I literally forgot we were being watched. Like it honestly just turned into a conversation.
Yeah, so that first episode, which you can listen to, I'm sure we're talking extremely fast. I'm sure we're sound very nervous. Honestly, so it's all the same. Haven't grown at all. But I remember putting on the headsets and like we can hear each other's voices really well, and like not Rob Whitaker. I don't know why I keep saying Rob Whitaker. Thomas Hatfield had everything dialed in.
Robert Hatfield.
What did I say?
Robert Hatfield.
Who did I say?
Thomas Hatfield.
Thomas Hatfield? Robert Hatfield. Oh, that's what I'm saying, Rob Whitaker.
We know too many names.
Yeah. Robert Hatfield had everything dialed in so well that like I remember just like focusing, and I remember me and Noah, the first few minutes was me and Noah going back and forth a little bit, and I remember being really nervous, and then Landon said something, and I was like, and I just took a big deep breath, like we're gonna be okay. But yeah, that first episode, like everyone could hear it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was we were at the booth with a TV in front of us, but people were watching the TV that was in front of where we were recording. Like, and there was
there were speakers
Yeah.
that like were broadcasting our dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like people could watch, just like hundreds of people could just walk past and look at us recording.
No, there was about 10 that watched us,
10 that watched us, but a lot of people that walked past.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it was honestly just an insane moment to start off the podcast.
You had the surreal waterfall noise coming from the
It
back.
sounds like
wish-
static in the background.
wish-
It's not that good of a sound, honestly.
Oh, that put me at peace. I wish we could replicate the waterfall in the background.
You want put a waterfall
Yes,
in
I want
the
a waterfall
studio, yeah.
right here, just behind us.
Yeah, but honestly,
With little neon lights behind it, like that's our logo, and like the waterfalls in front of it.
okay, and so then, we're still the AAA podcast at this point in time. Why
Yeah.
did we decide to record more episodes?
I think that was your idea again.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I think people told us, "Hey, you're on to something. Y'all should."
Jeff
keep doing this."
Archie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeff Archie was like, keep doing it.
And then didn't ministry
It was Heritage. It was Heritage.
Heritage reach out to us, right, and said we could record there.
Yeah, because we didn't have any equipment or anything.
Yeah, we didn't have microphones or anything. And so flash forward to when we sat down and recorded at Heritage, and I was just as nervous, if not more.
Well, because the first time it was just like, nobody really cares. We're just kind of doing this for family and friends and pictures and stuff. We can say we recorded a podcast at Lads. The second time it was like, so we're really doing this.
Yeah,
thing.
people are like really thinking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember sitting down being really scared at Heritage, and that you can watch a video. I believe it's on the channel, in that dark room.
It was so cool.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
with that
Oh,
in that
man.
dark room. And then who would have thought that? I don't know. A little after a year later, we were recording at GBN.
Yeah.
in their studio.
That was really cool. That was a
Yeah.
great opportunity. Got to meet a lot of people. Glenn Colley was, I think, the original one who recommended us being up there, but there were some other people as well. And honestly, just an incredible opportunity. We might get to go back. I know it's been discussed, but anytime you get to record a podcast at GBN, and we're on the GBN app, which is insane. I get to look at. I never thought I'd be on an app. Like I get to look at the
that's
GBN
real.
app and like, oh man, there I am. And I don't say that to be prideful or anything like that. It just kind of it blows my mind. Like, hey, our content is on GBN.
Yeah.
The thing I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This thing that we produced in our church's basement, somehow got us to GBN. Okay, but how did we come up with the name Straight Fire Podcast? It was
That's Landon's story.
Landon's master. Landon came up with the name Straight Fire Podcast. So how did that come to you?
So as quickly as Benjamin decided to record a podcast, I came up with the name in about 100th of that time. We had just recorded the podcast at Lads.
Yeah,
we were still standing
we had
there.
just wrapped up.
And we were just joking about like an actual name. AAA was like kind of thrown out there, but like what if we had a different name? And I'm gonna walk through what went through in my mind, but realize this all took place in a matter of like 3 seconds. All of this came together in my mind. I wanted something biblical, but also something that like involved teenagers because that's what we were as Gen Z. Didn't want something boring. And so I thought of
Landon calling every other Christian podcast name boring.
boring. No, I love you guys. No, but as I was sitting there, I was thinking, I was like, what could we do? And I thought of it being 3 guys, and I thought of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and then I thought of the fire, and then I thought of straight fire being a saying by teens, and literally all of that meshed together in a matter of seconds. And I was like, guys, we should call it Straight Fire, and it'll be like the 3 of us in a background of fire, and I was like, it'll be awesome.
Gotta be honest. So, quick shout out, really quick. We gotta shout out Natalie Wright,
Okay.
right?
Absolutely.
And her business, Honey Sweet Flamingos.
Is she out
But
there? Can she come
She
sit
will
on your
not
mic?
come in. She
No?
will not
Okay.
come in. But
We're
when
the
I
top.
originally told her about the logo idea, because I took what Landon said and was like, yeah, so we just want 3 dudes in the fire.
I had literally envisioned stick
I was
figures.
saying, I knew exactly what Landon was picturing. So I told her, yeah, I was like, honestly, we just need like 3 stick figures in fire. I was like, that's it. That's all we need. And she was like, that's it? That's all you need? And then she sends us back the logo that we have currently, LED logo. And I was like, it's not really stick figures in fire, but
That's fine, I guess.
I guess we'll take it, But yeah, I mean, that's better than anything we could have done on our own. She
That was
designed
awesome.
it for us. Yeah, we have some. We even have some apparel, clothing, and hoodies and T-shirts that are specially made for us.
Yeah,
They're not available to order.
We're not producing them, but
yet. No.
yet.
But anyways, it was really cool to actually have like a good looking logo. Even though I would have loved to see Landon draw 3 stick figures in fire. I think that might be even better.
that might have been a little more iconic. Not as sleek, but more iconic.
We're gonna record a YouTube short of me drawing with the logo.
what the logo should have been. Yeah, but I mean that's how we got our name. That's where our logo came from. Big shout out to Natalie Wright, and I don't know if she's gonna love us saying her name on podcast.
No, she's not. But
it'll be
yeah,
okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, big shout out to her for coming up with our logo. So we did not come up with that. If that's what you were thinking, there is not one shred of artistic talent in this sitting in these 3 chairs.
I think if we tried to, I feel like I could replicate the logo now that I'm looking at it, but coming up with it on its own, I think would have been impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
Nigh impossible.
I agree. Not impossible. So yeah, and then we just kept recording episodes. Honestly, probably should have recorded more episodes than we did in like a year and a half, because 26, like,
Yeah, let's not tell them what our goal was
no,
in 1 year.
no, they don't need to hear that. Yeah, and so that was kind of how this thing kicked off, and we just kept recording episodes. Is there any other like experiences that y'all had recording that stick out?
When we were at GBN and like they had like specific spots for us on the floor to like sit and stuff, and had a whole they designed a whole like setup for us and 3 mics and everything. That made me feel pretty special, just because like instead of us coming in again to our church's basement, we could like actually like someone set all this stuff up for us so we could talk and let other people hear us. And that was a pretty cool experience. But I don't know if there's like one thing that sticks out in my head about like specifically recording the podcast.
There's one thing that sticks out in my mind that I think needs to be talked about.
Oh,
about it's not recording, but the process after recording, where I messed up twice. And we've
my
we've
goodness.
referenced this moment, but I would like to share it with the audience because they need to know some of the things that. So I remember we had just finished recording an episode, and I remember thinking
It was a long episode.
I remember thinking like what a good episode that was. Like
was a long
I
one.
remember
The
thinking like
predestination.
we really nailed that
maybe.
episode.
yeah.
What episode was it?
I think it was Predestination.
Oh man, I remember thinking we nailed that episode. Like, and so I'm going to edit it. I'm going to drop it in. Like, I see something, and the problem was I ran out of storage on my laptop, and so I was like, okay, I'll just go delete all my old files. So I'm going back and I'm deleting a bunch of random nonsense that's never gonna get used. And I'm going back and somehow and then I go to upload the podcast. I'm like, huh, my file's not there. And I'm looking for it and I'm like, and it's gone. Like I was like, I deleted it and like I'm downloading like disk savers and all this thing, and it's so far gone. And I remember having to tell Noah and Landon that, and it was so bad. And for about 2 weeks, that's all. Hey Benjamin, don't delete the podcast this time. And
That was probably one of the moments where I was like, I questioned the most. Like, do we really want to keep Benjamin on the podcast?
I questioned the integrity of his tech skills. I will say
it was a
that.
low.
I
It was a
still
low moment. It was a low moment for me, and I need to thank God every day that Noah and Landon are very tech illiterate, because I would not be on this podcast if they had.
Shout out to Benjamin,
If
because
they were
if he
just-
wasn't here, me and Noah would be in trouble.
There would be no
Just a little
podcast
more.
if Benjamin was
No,
here.
there wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, see, it's one of my saving graces is I founded the podcast, and I'm the only one who has the stuff to run the podcast. So
Yeah, me and Noah pretty much just show up and talk. Everything else is.
I mean, yeah, they help me set up, but like
We give him really, really good ideas that he doesn't listen to, but that's about it.
I don't know if that's true, but yeah. So and then it happened again. I was going through and I was looking for files, and I remember the video finished loading, and then it said couldn't process, like the file has been removed, and I had to text them and tell them again that it happened, and then it was really bad, and I wanted to crawl in a hole, and I'm surprised they didn't shove me into a hole because it was gonna be, oh days. That was a rough couple months for us. Because, like, we would record an episode and, like, the audio wouldn't be right. And we would record an episode
I think
and
we
I would
lost
delete
about
it.
3 podcasts in the span of.
I think so, yeah. Because there was one where the audio broke as well.
in the span of.
And so,
like 3 months.
I guess
or
we
2
say all that to
months.
say, like, this has been a real learning experience in every kind of way.
That is
Learning
true.
how to interact with people about the podcast. A lot of people would come up to us, be like, hey, and it was weird talking to people about something that, like,
I would say, okay, I'm going to go back really quickly. I would say the weirdest part of having a podcast is people recognizing you from the podcast. That is really weird.
I've never been recognized. Oh no, I take it back. Someone did come up to me one time and he's like, do you do the Straight for Our podcast? And it's an odd moment.
It is an odd moment.
I'm not
Nobody's been recognized more than Landon, though.
No.
I also do the most traveling.
That's
so, like,
true.
this-
And Landon's famous in the state of Tennessee.
I'll say this
so-
podcast is much bigger in the state of Tennessee.
because of Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just I think I've grown in so many ways since we started this podcast and like resource management and, tech skills and
Sure.
but like also like,
Lost podcast.
Noah's grown so much because the amount of notes that he's
Oh
made.
man, he's
no,
about,
you
I know
need to tell
he's
you
about to throw me under the
no,
bus.
no. You need to tell the audience about like your dedicated notes. I'll come home and Noah's got pages upon pages of notes for a podcast.
I mean, genuinely, it's impressive.
yeah,
I will. So yeah, I will bring a lot of notes to podcasts, and that's because for the longest time, Benjamin and Landon are very spontaneous. They are very good at what they do. They say things in a very clear way that people can understand without them having to look at a lot of notes and without them having to reference things. I am not that way. When I get going without looking at something in front of me, I'll go too long. It won't be very clear. It won't be concise. I'll circle back a lot. Everyone who's listening right now is like, oh yeah, I know it. Now I know when he's not looking at notes. But yeah,
we understand it now.
but yeah, so I try to be very careful with what I write because I can write it better than I can actually say it. So I will have, like they said, pages upon pages of notes for some podcasts, not for all of them. Some of them I'll just have some verses written down just as reference points. Some of them I don't need to be quite as careful with my words. But other podcasts, I do like to be very, very careful with my words because a slip up when you're talking about hell or abortion or homosexuality could be very costly. So I typically try to be very careful with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've got a lot of notes. If anybody wants me to send them some notes sometimes, I could do that as well.
They're good too.
Yeah,
I
they're very thought out.
started typing up some of our podcasts when they're done or some ideas that we didn't get to afterwards. So if anybody ever wants any of those or wants to reach out and have the notes, they can have whatever they want. I'll send it to them. Probably edit it before I send it to them because it's just for me. But yeah, that's what I do. Very opposite to Benjamin and Landon.
Remove like breathe here or like emphasize here
or
Yell
stop
at-
talking here.
Yell at Benjamin here. Remove those notes.
Yeah, but yeah, I am very different from how Benjamin and Landon speak and present things.
Yeah, I would like to take this moment to say that number one, I play the character of devil's advocate. I'm not actually a devil's advocate in real life. Like that, how I learn, especially on the podcast, is and how I challenge Noah and Landon because that's my job. How I learn is by asking questions, and I like it when I can ask a hard question and Noah and Landon can answer it very readily. And that's just, it makes me feel good about the stuff that we're teaching and the stuff that we're preaching from God's word. The fact that I can ask what I think is a really hard question and have Noah and Landon so easily and so readily and so spitefully come and slam whatever argument I bring. It does make me feel good, but I'm usually not that combative in person. I don't know if I've been combative. What do y'all think?
You like to make sure you get to the bottom of things in a very pointed way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that, like, covering any questions that the audience might have. Which, speaking of, if you have any questions, thestraightforwardpodcast@gmail.com. We love seeing your questions and your topic ideas. We did a podcast on, what was it? Prom, right?
I thought it was it prom? I thought it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
a girl
it was
wrote
prom.
it. A girl wrote in asking about her, like, what can I say about prom,
we've
and
done
we
a-
covered that.
oh,
And
yeah,
I thought
that's right.
I thought that was really good, and it was so nice to feel like we were really helping someone, and more than just one person about an often discussed topic.
We've done a few requests over the few 20 something episodes that we've done. We want to do a lot more of that in this upcoming season. So yeah, and we're already planning on doing some requests that we gotten in the off season.
In the off
In
season.
the off season, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing those requests. I always enjoy answering questions.
Yeah. No, I know you've done some thinking about this. Do you have like episodes with, like, notes with them?
Yeah, I pulled out some
Do
of
you-
the
is there-
episodes that meant a lot to me.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Let me look.
Landon, do you have a
Ask
favorite
Landon
episode?
that question. Hold on.
I'm
Landon,
trying to think-
Landon,
I'm trying to
let me
think of
give you
mine.
what I got. These are the ones that I pulled out that were like the best one, the most impactful ones to me that have probably helped me the most, and that have and I think that helped the most people. So okay, first I've got the mental health and the Christian podcast, right? Probably the first big one that we did.
I mean, it was the second one ever.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, I mean, I think that was like our first Heritage recording.
Yeah.
So.
Phones, also another really big one. I think our biggest. Is phones our biggest, or is our second biggest?
I'm pretty sure the dating episode was big because
Okay.
we dropped it right next to Valentine. We dropped it like right
That's
before
right,
Valentine's
yeah.
or right after Valentine's. I think.
The Hell podcast. We did one on hell. That was a really good one. Quoting Landon, I dingle over hell.
God isn't dingling us over hell.
I was gonna say dangling, and the A turned into an I as it was coming out of my mouth.
And he just kept going.
How did it keep going? Looking at him.
I mean, when's it gonna stop him? Yeah, but that was a really good, really powerful podcast.
Yeah, it was.
and then
Outside of that part, yes. It
and
was
then
very good.
I think one of the ones that opened my eyes the most was Modesty, doing the Modesty podcast.
the Modesty podcast was
Because I know that
big.
was that would have been requested, I think, multiple times.
Yeah.
At least a few times. And we wanted to help people as best as we could while still presenting scriptural truth. And I think Landon's gonna agree with me on this. We are not professionals by any means. What I mean by that is we're not mental health professionals. We're not therapists. We're not, we can't, tell people what you, or who is someone that like tells people to stay off their phone less? I'm trying to think of what I would say there.
A parent.
We're not your parents.
I mean, that's true, but
That's true.
I was just thinking we're not qualified by any secular means to be able to talk about mental health and
Yeah.
things like people who have physical problems
Yeah.
with their mental health. We're not qualified. I can't tell you what to do or not do with your phone because I'm still figuring out as well. But what I do know is I do know what the Bible says, and I do know the Bible has the answers to every question.
I was about to say that's why we're always careful when we offer advice. That when we typically always preface by saying, like we're not qualified to give you secular advice, but what we do read in the Bible, let us share that with you.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I think we did a good job on that with like the mental health podcast, right?
Yeah.
We can't prescribe medicines or to see a doctor because there's some cases where that kind of stuff is necessary, and all that we did is just what does the scripture say about those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I think we tread that line very well.
It was more of it was not so much how can we help your physical well-being, but how can we help your spiritual well-being.
Yeah, and everyone and what I wanted to bring out from that podcast was just everyone deals with anxiety. Everyone deals with depression. Some people deal with it a lot more. Some people deal with what's called clinical anxiety or clinical depression, and that would be mentally something is not right, physically something is not right. But I've been anxious, I've been depressed. I go through those emotions, especially as I've gotten older and you get more responsibilities. Those things are going to happen, and if you haven't dealt with those, you will one day. And you have to know how to be able to handle that when you do. And, a lot of people now say, well, the Bible just doesn't have answers to that kind of stuff. The Bible doesn't have answers to mental health. The Bible can't tell me how I should use my phone, right? The Bible doesn't know how we can be modest today. Well, I would challenge those people that you're basically saying God wasn't powerful, God wasn't smart enough, God wasn't wise enough to give us those answers, right? But the Bible says if you believe the Bible, then you know that the Bible has everything every Christian could ever need at any time, right? So all we try to do on this podcast is simply present those answers, right? Again, we're just three. One of us is not in college, one of us is in college, and one of us is finishing high school. So a wide array of different types of knowledge and stuff, but no one with any, professional knowledge, right? And none of us have a degree in this. All we know is what the Bible has taught us over the years, right? And we try to do our best to present that to people. And I think that's what makes the podcast appealing for people is, hey, these people don't have a PhD in the Bible. These people don't have, degrees in communication or anything. We need those people. We need the people at Apologetics, and we need the people at GBN. But also sometimes we just need someone who's willing to study with us, right? Someone who's just like the people listening, someone who's just like me, right? Who can break this down in a way that I understand it, right? Who can help me study this passage in a way that applies to the problems that I'm dealing with, right? And I think as the Straightforward Podcast, we do our best to help people with that.
Our goal from the start of this podcast was to make a podcast that people our age could easily listen to and would want to listen to and could share with those who maybe they're not coming to church, but hey, why don't you listen to this podcast that that these guys do?
Hence the sweet logo.
Yeah, for people. The goal of this podcast was to help people our age with spiritual topics that apply to them: mental health, phones, modesty, right? Questions and even questions that have been asked for a long time, but applying them in a new light. Not in a new truth, but a new light to those who maybe hadn't heard them before, right? Every time a new generation comes along, they still ask the same questions, right? And it's up to the previous generation to tell them, hey, these are the answers to these things. And, it has to be put in modern language, right? It has to be put in ways that these people can understand, And honestly, I know a lot of old trying to think of the polite way to say it. Older people?
There you go.
I think, yeah.
A lot of older people listen to this podcast too. And I think that just reminded me that, hey, the message of God's word is always for everyone. We started out with the idea of, well, let's help people our age, but it honestly went so much farther than that. Like everyone in every age group, I think, could listen to this podcast. And I only say that because people from every age group have come up to me saying, hey, I loved your podcast this week. What's the episode about next week? And our goal was just to help people our age, and it went so much further than that. And it was awesome to see.
Yeah, I agree.
So moving forward, is there any other experiences y'all would like to talk about before we talk about moving forward?
I think I'm good. Nope. You sure? We've only been recording for a year. There's not like a ton of experience.
That's true. I remember I really wanted to vlog the Philippines trip, and we got there, and I was like, we don't have time to vlog. I was like, we were so busy all the time.
We were literally,
and when we weren't busy, we were like recovering from
We were sleeping.
busy days, yeah.
we flew for 30 something hours. Got off the plane.
Not 30 something hours.
We were traveling for 30 hours.
Yeah. We flew for about 24.
Yeah.
Traveled for over 30.
Yeah. We were traveling for over 24 hours. No
just got
sleep.
jet lag all
Like
over
I
again.
think the first trip I slept for a combined hour and a half over 30 hours.
On the plane?
Yeah.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah. See, so Landon had been up for 3 years. We got there and proceeded to get 6 hours of sleep.
I thought
4
I got
hours of
punched in
sleep.
the face when I got there. I was like, someone hit me over the head,
Yeah.
and now I'm walking around concussed.
Literally, we would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We would get ready, drive for about 2 hours to the location, study with people there, walk around the city, door knocking, drive back that night, eat, go to bed, and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning again.
Yeah, and then we had rest days.
We
right?
did have some
Because
rest
we had to,
days,
but we
spent them
resting.
resting.
We spent them resting.
We spent them resting.
And so yeah, I really wanted to vlog that. Hopefully in the future, when we're a little more locked in, and if we ever, we can. When I know what the routine is going to be, we can take care of that. But yeah, hopefully a lot more of that kind of content coming in season 2 on the official Straight Fire Podcast YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. Shameless plug.
Shameless. It's our channel. It's not shameless.
Oh yeah, yeah, non-shameless plug. But yeah, so tell me, what are y'all wanting to do in season 2? Noah's pointing at you.
Oh, me?
What are some of your ideas that you wanna?
Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying this. Benjamin has this knack for coming up with things to ask me and not telling me beforehand.
It's a beautiful knack.
It's my talent.
It's his.
I've been
hidden
living with
talent.
it for 19 years.
And so this is something that's true for like every podcast. You'll notice because I have the same face every time he asks me a question that I wasn't ready for, and this is one of those. I've not really thought about that a whole lot. I mean, what I want us to do for sure is, and this is more in a sense of getting the podcast out, shorts, things of that nature, getting more content out. Again, 26 podcasts in a year. And a lot of that, admittedly, is my fault. I've been doing a lot of traveling this year.
I mean, I can't say it's your fault. I mean, like
well, I mean, like, in
you
the
were
sense
the
of-
reason that we couldn't, but I don't know if it's your fault.
I'll take
that as you will.
I'll take the blame. It was my fault. But no, this season 2, really hoping to lock in on producing a lot more content, both long form, short form content. I am hoping that we'll get in more questions because I'd like us to have like a full Q&A podcast.
Yeah, that's
not
what I was saying.
live Q&A podcast, but one where you guys have sent that in.
Could you imagine reading questions off the fly?
Yeah, and what I would recommend for people is you don't always have to send in your podcast topics. Well, we do always send in your podcast topics. But if you
Yes.
just have a question, we do really want to do a Q&A.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even if you don't think it's podcast worthy, if you send a question, more than likely we will write you a response back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we will get you an answer.
Yeah, even if it doesn't make the podcast, we will answer you back. So even if you have a question that you maybe you don't even want it addressed on the podcast, maybe it's a personal situation, something that might not apply to everyone. If you would like to send it to us, we'll absolutely take a look at it. There is never any harm in asking, and we just want to build a community where people are willing to come to us and ask questions that we can talk about on and off the air.
Yeah, for sure.
That is something I would like to do more of. Echoing Landon, like Q&A episodes, like, hey, this month's questions, we got, some interesting questions from this month. Q&A, so yeah, send us all your questions. You can comment them, you can email us them, you can put them somewhere where we'll find them. If for our stalkers out there, you can put it in my mailbox at night. Whatever you think, however you think we'll see
I
it.
think that's illegal, actually.
God's word can't be controlled by the truth. The truth
Don't do
will
that.
The truth will set you
don't.
free.
Hey guys, don't go to jail to take a question on the podcast.
But yeah, that is one thing I'd like to do more of. Obviously, put out more content and put out more dedicated episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what Landon said. I would like to honestly just get more episodes out, get more questions. Again, me and Landon are saying we want more shorts out. Like we're actually gonna be the ones putting. The
Yeah,
shorts
I'm gonna
out.
say Landon's basically Landon.
But-
When Landon says he wants more
but-
shorts
but
out, he's
to be
saying he
fair-
wants Benjamin to put more.
To be
shorts out.
fair, we've been promised shorts, so we're going to take advantage of that. If you ever see an episode where it's just me and Landon, just know that Benjamin has been replaced by AI, and AI will now be taking over everything for the podcast.
If one more podcast gets deleted or we get no shorts.
Or we get no shorts, Benjamin is being absolutely thrown off.
Well, this is like axe being held over my head. Goodness gracious.
You put the own axe over your head. First off, you said we're a good tech guy, and we've lost.
I never said I was a good tech guy.
We lost 3 podcasts.
I said I
you,
was a
you
tech
definitely
guy.
said you were going to get shorts out, and you said you were going to get lots of shorts
I
out.
got busy.
And and we have, I think, 3 shorts out?
Needless to say, there will be a lot more content coming out in
Yeah,
season
the axe
2.
is over.
Whether
Benjamin's head.
Benjamin makes it or AI, there will be more content.
But yeah, so that's really it for right now. Just to get more content.
Also,
out.
more like YouTube videos, not like podcasts on YouTube, but like actual YouTube videos. Honestly, I might rearrange the channel a little bit. I might move the podcasts that are there now to the official YouTube podcast section, just so we have actual videos in our main channel feed.
Yeah, and if you have any video ideas, we're kind of open to anything right now. I mean, we wouldn't do anything, but we're open to any
Be careful when Noah says we're open to anything.
We're willing to do anything right now just because we're still brainstorming like what video ideas would be good and get views and all that kind of thing.
I think the main thing is like we've done this now that we're wrapping up season 1, we have the experience that we need to where we can focus on external things now instead of just the podcast, right? We know what we're doing with the podcast, kind of. We know like how it works.
I wish they could have seen us trying to set this up today.
Okay, it had been a while since we had set this up. It took some time. Noah sat there with his mic standing next to him for about 5 minutes before he plugged it in. So,
and I was looking at ESPN.
yeah.
Reels.
Oh man, yeah. That's just routine. That's just routine to start. But yeah, that's our goals. Do we want to put any definitive season 2 goals out there? Numbers.
Shorts.
Yeah,
That's
shorts.
definitive.
Anything that I'm not doing, I'll throw it out there in a minute. We want shorts out there. We're gonna get some YouTube videos out there. Bitch was probably gonna, maybe do a little special thing with intro. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, Bitch was got a lot.
There's
to
a
do,
lot
guys.
of cool tech stuff
I would say
coming
Bitch has
out
got a
in
lot to do.
season 2.
For me and Landon, we're just gonna chill. We're gonna come on. We're gonna give y'all answers and stuff.
We're gonna
But really,
do our
Really,
thing.
season 2 is on Benjamin. So
If any
everybody,
of you guys are concerned, no, we do not need an editor. Number 1, we can't afford it. Number two, I don't like giving up like control of things that
I wish you'd be in better control of things.
we better turn this off before
This has probably been the most humorous podcast that we've had in a
well,
while.
yeah, it was a little more chill, when we're not talking about, things like, hell and mental health.
And that's kind of what this
We
was.
can-
is,
yeah.
Just kind of
we're
letting you know we still are alive.
We're easing back. We're easing back into it.
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
starts off a marathon by full sprinting. Okay, some people do.
Wait, you're not supposed to?
And those people are maniacs. So normal people don't start off a marathon by sprinting. Okay, we're easing into our journey.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
There's a long way to go for season 2, and hopefully a lot of memories and a lot of experiences on the way. Is there anything y'all would like to say before we close the first episode of season 2?
I don't think so. No.
Love you guys.
Yeah,
but
for real.
say,
Love you. Get
I
ready.
would just like to thank our listening audience. Y'all have made this possible. Y'all have motivated us to make more content for you guys, and we are so glad that you guys are genuinely looking forward to more content. Or I guess we hope you're genuinely looking forward to more content.
For everyone who's reached out while we weren't recording and asked about it and talked to me like, hey, when y'all going to be recording again? What are y'all's ideas for when you're going to start recording again? Thank you. That's meant a lot. I know that's meant a lot to me. I know Landon got some comments and stuff at PTP. People reached out to him. That again blows my mind that people even know what this is. So I just want to thank all those people. Thank all of you for even just taking a few seconds to say, hey, looking forward to the next podcast or whatever, or making fun of us for not releasing anything. Thank you for taking the time to just invest a little bit of time in us. Honestly, even if we only had like 4 people listening, I would still love it and I would still do it because, it helps me. It encourages me a lot. And I hope, honestly, all I hope we do is bring you as much encouragement as you've brought to us.
Yeah, we'd just like to thank you guys. Be sure to follow us on the official Straight Fire Podcast accounts, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find iHeartRadio, I believe.
iHeartRadio,
iHeartRadio,
Amazon Podcasts.
Wherever you find podcasts, we're there. Again, big shout out to Natalie Wright for helping us make our logo and just being another voice in our creative process, and an important voice in our creative process. Shout out to my dad who wrote our intro. If y'all enjoyed that, make sure to comment down below so he can see that. It would mean a lot to him. And yeah, again, thank you all so much. We're looking forward so much to the start of season 2. You guys are such a great motivator. And thank you all for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.